So as he's sniffing the air cartridges, I'm just looking at him like, oh my God. He looks at me and say, you better not be judging me. You better not judge me. And I looked at him like, oh, I ain't gonna judge you. Like, do your thing. But I promise you, I was judging him to the max. I was judging him. It was so much stuff going on in my head. I'm like, first off, what are you doing with the money that I'm giving you, sir? Like, what are you doing? And are you the one taking the air cartridge? Are we using the air cartridge for whipped cream, or this is what we doing now? So boom, we finally get to, to his spot after he do his transaction and do the little. I mean, when he did it, his head was shaking. I was like, because I guess you got to get that whole hit right then and there. So boom, we make it to the spot. He put the key in. So the first thing he do is when we walk inside of the place that I've been giving him money on, that he ain't been fixing, that I've been telling him I want to feel comfortable, he put the monitor things back on the wall in their primary spot. So I'm like, I see you put the monitors up. He like, yeah. He like, I put them up. He like, they supposed to be up. He like, they smoke detectors and stuff like that. He like, the house can be burning off. I said, no. He like, I'm like, look, trust me. I'm really good with that. I said, my dad was a chief of firefighter. I said, so trust me. I know how to put out a fire, and I most definitely know how not to start a fire. So he was like, yeah, but for our safety, because he like, it's people that stay downstairs. He kept saying his ex and the kids and all this. All right. I'm like, all right, cool. I ain't thinking nothing of it. So he like, okay, what you want me to do first? I said, look, it's your job. I pay. I don't want to think for you. He like, come on, man. He like, all right, well, let's do this other doobie. Now, when he said, let's do the doobie, even though I have been hitting the doobie behind, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hit it, I'm thinking now, do you be putting anything in these doobies? So immediately off the back, I just stopped smoking with him. Like, just period. I already kept me one in my MO, and people know I didn't like to smoke behind people. So what he used to do is give me the doobie first, and I take my hits and then pass it back off to him. So he like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm already, feeling the last one, right? He like, from this morning? I'm like, yeah, from this morning, I'm still feeling it. So boy, he like, well, I'm gonna work on the living room first. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm in the other room, just chilling on my phone. So my soul is texting me. She been texting, and I never replied back because I was upset. Like, you just did all of that. I got hit by a car. You didn't care that I got hit by a car. You kept going, telling me you would make sure I get home safe. No, we're not doing that. So I was mad I didn't talk to her. You called off work, all that. Like, I didn't really want to be bothered with her like that. I was heated. So Mike, he like, hey, he like, I got to go get some more paint. Now, he was painting. In the living room, he like, I got to go get some more paint. I'm like, all right. Hour pass. 2 hours in the past. 3 hours in the past. Now, by this time, I've been on my phone, and I'm about to link up with some people tonight. So I'm like, okay, when he gonna come? But nevertheless, he still got a key. So I end up getting ready and dipping out. So I end up dipping out to this nice little spot or whatever with my buddy. And we had some drinks, right? I'm flirting with the bartender. She's giving me free drinks. I'm like, man, like, you could just tell. So I'm just looking at her like, hopefully she could read my eyes. Like, I wanted to tap it. So I was just looking at her like, I'm like, not too much ice. I don't like my stuff watery. So she was like, you play too much. Why are you looking like that? So I was just always flirt. It was just a flirting thing, right? Back and forth. And she used to call me her little boo, right? Because I started going there a lot. So we end up having a good time. I end up going back to my supposedly be home. I get there. Mike have not even been back there. His book bag is still there. The open paint is still there, dried up, looking like it needed help. I was just like, okay, let me call him. So I call him. It's a little late, but I still call him. He didn't pick up. He shoots me a message. Now, I don't like that. I call you, but then you shoot me a message. No, call me back. I called you. Call me back. He texts me, and he says, man, they called me at work at my second job. He like, I got to pull a double. He like, but I'll be there. He like, in the morning. He like, but if I can't open, can you open for me? He like, and if you do that, when I wake up, he said, I'm going to just take tomorrow off. He said, and I'll be there working on your spot. I said, all right, cool. I'll open for you and cover your shift. I don't really need you. So I hit up Nicole. I said, Nicole, you want to come and be me? I say, come and work my shift. I'm like, you want to come at 7 and leave at 1? She like, oh yeah, because she came at 1 and left at 7. So this was like a good time for her too. She'll finally be leaving early. So boom, I go no ahead. I go to sleep. I get myself dressed. Mind you, I have not talked to Marisol. She has been texting me, calling me. She's been texting and calling me from her sister phone. I have not responded to her. So boom, it's the next day. Hop in the shower. Got my work clothes ready. I leave out. I got to leave out bright and early. Only when the crackheads is out. Because the reason being is the store is far from the job. I mean, the job is far from the house, so I have to get up 10 times earlier. So I get up crackhead hours. The bird's not even out yet. Just the crackheads only. Just the crackheads only. So boom, I finally get up there to the store. I'm a little early, so I started doing the pastry case, doing the cold brew, the nitro. I'm getting everything together right. Boom. Now Marisol comes in. So I didn't know that because she's supposed to work yesterday. That day she didn't work. She just called it off. And she supposed to have been off the day that I was working. That Mike's not there. She supposed to have been off this day. But Mike thought that I couldn't handle it because he didn't know I called Nicole and I swapped the stuff. But as him being a manager, what he thought to do was call somebody in and replace his shift. So he called Marisol because he knew Marisol was off. So when I see Marisol come in, I'm like, why you here? She like, Mike told me to come here. I'm like, for what? She like, because he's not coming today. I'm like, well, I got his shift covered. She like, well, you could talk to him. I said, okay. So I called him. And I said, hey, you sent Marisol over here? He like, yeah. He like, is that okay? I'm like, well, I got Nicole coming in. He like, well, it ain't nothing wrong with the extra help. He like, I'll fix the labor tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, I'm going to just leave a little early. He like, if you want to, he like, you can leave early. I'm like, all right, bet. Set in stone. Boom. Marisol, she comes out there, she clocks in. I say, hey, I need you on bar number 2. She like, I don't want to be on bar number 2. You know, I'm good at bar number 1. But if she was at bar number 1, that means she going to be back register number 1. So that means she'll be grabbing the stickers, putting it on the cup, and preparing it and letting the other people make it. But I want her on bar number 2, so I wouldn't be nowhere close to her. So I wanted to make amends. So I said, well, you know what? You could be on bar number 1. And I put myself on register number 3, which is far the other way by the pastry case. So now me and you won't even be close. And I put Nicole by number 1. Now, Nicole wasn't that friendly of my soul. So boom, we getting busy. So it was somewhere where it was a mess up, or probably on both parties. But Marisol got the bad end of it. So I was like, because the dude was like, this is not what I wanted. I said, what you wanted? He said, they forgot my vanilla. He like, I wanted vanilla in here. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, we can fix it up. So I said, Marisol, he wanted vanilla in there because she's bar number 1. She's the initiator. So I said, hey, he wanted vanilla in there. I'm like, can you put him some vanilla in there? She was like, I wasn't the one that made his drink. I'm like, well, I'm asking you, can you put vanilla in there? She like, and she grabbed the stuff. So now I started getting upset, right? I'm like, oh, next guest, please. So now I'm taking it. I'm like, thank you so much. Have a good day. They're like, yeah, you too. I'm like, yeah, no, somebody already ruined it, right? So I'm already saying like little sly remarks. So boom, it's time for me to go on my break. I go in the back. I sit down in the chair and I'm like, man, I should just go ahead and leave. So she come back there and she rub. I have my head in and she comes and she rubs my neck. And I look up. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, stop. She like, can we talk? She like, I know that you're mad at me. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm like, I got hit by a car. So I lift my pants leg up and show her the bruises. Then I show her the bruises on the side. I'm like, look at my neck. She like, okay, I'm gonna stop by. And she like, I'm gonna make sure that you're okay. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I'm sore. I'm like, I'm fine. She like, I promise you, do you want to come over to my house? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, actually, I'm finna count my box and I'm finna go. So I said, hey, Nicole, run the shift because Mike said I could leave early. So boom, Mike coming in as I'm counting my box. So I look at him. I'm like, why are you here? He like, oh yeah. He like, I got some of the stuff, but my guys, they gonna bring the rest of the stuff and we gonna come over there. He like, I'm gonna just do a couple of hours and make sure everything good. He like, this is the day of the order. So I'm like, man, this man playing with me. So now I'm running out of patience. I'm starting to get upset. I'm starting to, because now I see what you're doing. And now I'm starting to be very, very upset because you're playing with me and I just want to be Gucci, right? And I'm paying you my money and I don't see nothing being done. I don't see no improvement. Nothing's being done. So I'm like, man, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, I'm finna go that way. He like, all right, cool. He like, I'll see you later. So I'm like, here, well, you can count my box. So he counted my box. Boom. I dips, right? Marisol, she's texting me. She gets off in a little bit. She's texting me. So she pops up, right? I never text her back. She pops up hours later. at the spot. So she like, I see the text message like, I'm here. So I was like, I text her back like, here where? But when I text her here where, I hear arguing downstairs like, I don't care, da da da. You don't run nothing. You don't. I'm like, wait, hold on, wait, what's going on? So I go down, like open the door and go downstairs. Mighty Soul and the girl, they mad into it.